And welcome back to another episode of TED Talk Stamps with yours truly, Ted the Talking Stamp Collector. And I'll have to beg your pardon once more for wearing a hat indoors. I'm still waiting for my summer cut to grow out. So, laid out in front of me here are the subject of today's program. These are all called prestige booklets. Now, you may think of booklets in the old-fashioned way as just a pane of stamps, like, say, this one from Algeria. It's just a small pane of stamps folded up in a simple cardboard cover. Nothing special about it. Then in 1969, Royal Mail of Great Britain made what is possibly the greatest innovation since the original penny black postage stamp. And that was this booklet called Stamps for Cooks. Now you immediately can tell it's different from your average booklet in that it is much bigger. And while it does have your usual panes of postage stamps, it has something extra. It's got 8 pages of text and images, and all of them containing various recipes. So as you can see in the table of contents, there are 12 recipes, starting with this creamy carrot soup, going on to stuffed cucumbers, braised shoulder of lamb. For those who are challenged in the making of sandwiches, there is a recipe for a ham club sandwich. And then a couple of desserts at the end, including these cream meringues. Now it would be another 3 years before Royal Mail revisited this booklet format, and when they did, that was in 1972. It was for this one called The Story of Wedgwood. And it has 8 pages in it, going over the history of Wedgwood china and jasperware. And again, we have the Machen stamps. Evidently, I'm not quite sure, but I think this one might be the first time that the booklet was designated as a prestige booklet, because these days this booklet is considered the first prestige booklet, even though the Stamps for Cooks is obviously a prestige booklet, but since it wasn't called that, it's not officially considered the first prestige booklet. Doesn't matter, I consider it the first. Another 6 years would go by before they issued another prestige booklet, and again, it was the continuing story of Josiah Wedgwood. And this one was even a bigger format, as you can see here comparing the two. It's a little bit longer and much taller. Again, it had 8 interior pages of text, not counting the inside covers on the front and back. And like the previous book, it also contained Machen stamps. This seems to be a theme with the British booklets, in that they make a booklet commemorating a certain subject, yet they don't make corresponding stamps to commemorate that subject. They keep putting Machen stamps. Same thing happened in this booklet. They celebrated the 100th birth anniversary of Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie. With a nice booklet going over many of her famous books. Yet, once again, we're treated to Machen stamps. Crispy. And since 1982, the issuing of prestige booklets has been going on annually. So we have here one for the Royal Mint, the story of our Christian heritage, and the story of P&O, the Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company. So from 1982 to 1991, there was one booklet issued each year. In 1992, evidently, the books were popular and they decided to cash in on it by issuing 2 prestige booklets a year. By the year 2000, they were issuing 3 each year. Isn't that crazy? In 2009, they really went crazy and they issued 4 booklets that year. And 4 booklets in 2010. 4 booklets in 2015. Where will it end? And so other booklets that have come in the series are this, the story of Stanley Gibbons, the Scots Connection, and the story of British Rail. Now, the United Kingdom is made up of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and they have issued booklets for each of those other constituent countries. One for Scotland, one covering Wales, and one I don't have to show you for Northern Ireland. Now, as I pointed out before, all of the prestige booklets up to this point commemorated a certain subject, yet only showed Machen stamps inside instead of commemoratives. Well, the Wales booklet did change that up a little. They offered 1 pane of stamps showing a wintertime scene, which I am assuming, and you know what happens if you assume, but I'm going to assume that it is picturing Wales. Similarly, in 1993, they issued a book for Beatrix Potter, the creator of Peter Rabbit. Again, we were treated to 3 panes of Machen stamps, though we did get 1 pane of 4 stamps with Peter Rabbit illustrations. Now, the last one from Great Britain that I'm going to show you is also the most disappointing to me, because I was looking forward to receiving this one for the birth centenary of J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of Lord of the Rings. As you can see, it is a pretty thin booklet. It's got 8 pages, and not only do we get treated to more Machen head stamps, but the pages of text are pretty thin and uninspired, if you ask me. They are simply quotes by Tolkien of lines from cards and letters he wrote, such as this one. Just a 1-line quote taking up the whole page. There's this one. We don't even get any pictures except on the inside front cover. There's a picture in the background overlaid by text. So, like I said, this was a disappointment for me. Now, when it comes to the Channel Islands, though, that's a different story. In 1992, Jersey issued this one in their Adventurer series. They had started an Adventurer series on various adventurers, obviously. This was the 3rd in the series, and it's about William Mesny. William Mesny was born in 1842, and at the age of 11, he set sail. Well, he didn't set sail. He got a job on a ship and went off to lands far and wide. For 7 years, he traveled to Africa, India, and Australia, and eventually landed in China. He reached China in December of 1980, and he lived there for the next 59 years. He was a decorated serviceman in the Imperial Army. And this booklet, while it only has 4 interior pages of text, it's also got text on the inside, front, and back covers, so it gives you quite a bit of story about the man. But best of all, it's got 6 pages, 6 panes of stamps, all commemorating the man, showing him and, events or scenes in his life. Also in 1992, the other Channel Island, Guernsey, issued this stamp booklet called Operation Asterix. And it recounts the discovery and recovery of an ancient Roman ship 1700 years old that was found in the harbor of Guernsey. This booklet contains a comic strip of Asterix the Gaul. There are actually three of these identical panes of stamps, but with the captions for each of the stamps in different languages. There's English, French, and Italian. Italian, of course, because it's a Roman ship, and French because the ship was probably crewed by Gauls, and thus Asterix the Gaul. Now, it wasn't long before other countries jumped on the prestige booklet bandwagon, and in 1988, Hungary issued this prestige booklet with 6 duck recipes in it. It's got 12 pages total, and it's got the 6 recipes. First, it's given in Hungarian, and then follows with an English language version of the recipe. And then it also has 2 panes of stamps, each showing a different duck. In 1992, Hong Kong really upped the ante in the prestige booklet sweepstakes when they issued this one on the history of Hong Kong definitive stamps. As you can see, it is a pretty thick book. It has 64 pages inside, just chock full of text giving the history of Hong Kong definitives. And it's got plenty of those Hong Kong definitives inside. In 2000, Hong Kong issued this one for nature. This one contained just 3 stamps, 1 stamp on each page. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is that the stamp was placed on the inner edge of the page, making it kind of a pain to conveniently look at it. Here's the second one. And the third one. Now you'll notice that those were all $5 denominated stamps, yet the price of the booklet was 35 Hong Kong dollars. That's quite a premium to pay for a few pictures and text. And then in 2006, Hong Kong issued this prestige booklet, which is hardly a prestige booklet. It's just got a fancy cover, and inside all it contains is one little miniature sheet of 12 stamps. No extra pages of text or anything. Other countries which have issued prestige booklets over the years are Ireland, including this one for the wild geese. The wild geese were Irishmen who fought in the service of other countries during the 17th and 18th centuries. These were countries like Austria, France, and Spain. And there are 4 different stamps included in this booklet which depict various military costumes of these wild geese. In 1991, Canada issued this booklet in honor of 150 years of the Queen's University at Kingston. It's another rather thin booklet with only 8 pages of text and illustrations, and 1 page featuring a commemorative stamp for Queen's University at Kingston. And then there's one for Finland, from the year 2000, which commemorates the 450th anniversary of the founding of the city of Helsinki. This has 2 panes of stamps in it. The first one showing 4 different distinctive buildings in the city, and the second pane showing various cultural and entertainment activities outdoors. Now I come to the last 3 in this program, which all came from the United States. In the year 2000, the U.S. Postal Service issued this prestige booklet about the U.S. submarine service. This booklet has 12 pages of text and pictures, plus 2 pages with panes of stamps on them. That's one of them, showing various submarines, as well as this page, which shows the same set of stamps but with different text in the left margin. In 2003, the U.S. Postal Service came out with its second prestige booklet called Old Glory. And it's just chock full of pictures. It's great stuff here. Just showing how the American flag has been utilized over the years in advertising, in folk art, and in all facets of American life. It's got 2 panes of stamps showing vintage items with American flag motifs. And if you'll stick around for the end of the program and see the slideshow, I will give you more images of this stamp booklet because it's really some really cool stuff. And then finally, the next year in 2004, it was the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition, and so we got a nice prestige booklet honoring that. And again, we have 2 panes of stamps, and like the other books, you get some really nice photographs. You get 24 pages of text and pictures in this book, and the price was $8.95, which was actually $1.55 over the face value of the stamps. Now, evidently, the prestige booklets must not have sold that well because there haven't been any issued since then, and it doesn't look like we can look forward to any in the future. So those are prestige booklets. What do you think? Do you have a favorite of your own that wasn't included here? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this program, let me remind you again to hit the subscribe button along with the bell icon to be reminded of new episodes as they go up. So once again, I'm Ted the Talking Stamp Collector, thanking you for watching, and until next time, happy stamping.